You know when you watch something and you can just tell that it was made with love? It's a rare thing. It doesn't necessarily apply to everything that has a high degree of quality. It's something that you kind of feel. You can understand that it was important to the artist. That's exactly what I felt when watching the new adaptation of Shin Samurai Den Yaiba, a show I started watching with low expectations just because I was curious and that I ended up loving, and now I have to tell you about it. Shin Samurai Den Yaiba is not Kimetsu no Yaiba, it is in fact much older. This show is a new anime adaptation of the classic shonen manga from 1988, and while you might not know about it, I certainly wasn't too familiar before, it is a very influential series. What you might recognize is the art style, because this is from the same author as Detective Conan, also known as that one show that has so many episodes that it rivals even One Piece. Yaiba follows a young boy named, Yaiba, who is a feral child who fights gorillas in the jungle because he wants to be a samurai, and who via insane circumstances is transported to Tokyo and forms a rivalry with a local kendo prodigy by the name of Onimaru. Now I want you to understand that these are normal boys. They have a relatively normal sports rivalry, but that lasts a total of 2 episodes because by episode 3, Onimaru obtains a demonic sword that imbues him with the power of a demon, and by episode 4 he has orchestrated a coup and become the de facto demon king of Japan. This is the adaptation of an old manga, and one that was definitely aimed at kids. So everything advances quite fast and they play it kind of loosey-goosey when it comes to logic. This show is in some ways more similar to Looney Tunes than it is to something like Jujutsu Kaisen or Kimetsu no Yaiba. The characters are really silly, their designs are goofy. There's a bunch of weird mascot characters with overly specific vocal tics. There's perverted old man trying to peek into the women's bath. The perverted old man is literally Miyamoto Musashi. It's a very silly show. It reminds me a lot of early One Piece, which happens to be my favorite kind of One Piece, where there are real stakes and a real story going on, but also things are often played for laughs, and Zoro is using Usopp as a sword to fight a man who is also a giraffe with swords for legs. Yaiba is very distinctively Japanese. It has the essence of what anime was in the late 80s and early 90s. And it's not for everyone. You're not going to find a complex power system here. You're not going to find well-written antagonists with profound motivations. You're not going to find amazing and intricate world building. This show is all about having fun with cool fights, endearing characters and a lot of gags. One episode they'll be fighting a giant snail, the next episode they're doing a test of courage, then they're fighting a weird vampire dude who inexplicably speaks Japanese with an American accent. It's a really interesting look at a type of shonen manga that we seldom ever get anymore, with even things like One Piece having taken a much more serious tone than they had in the past, and I find it really neat. There's this Saturday morning cartoon quality to it that makes you feel nostalgic even if it's your first time watching. It's a very endearing show that was loved by a whole generation, and it's easy to see why. But there's one aspect that makes this really special. Shin Samurai Den Yaiba looks really good. This is one of the best looking TV anime I've seen in a long time, and I don't just mean the animation, everything about it looks good. The art style is perfectly and faithfully recreated. The lighting looks wonderful and gives a lot of texture to the scenes. The directing is phenomenal with super creative camera work, and the fight scene storyboarding is masterful, with fights using very wide and continuous shots that really put the animation front and center. There are no quick cuts, no claustrophobic camera angles or oversaturated visual effect vomit that makes it so you can't even tell what the hell is going on. There's no shaking camera followed by impact frames and everything exploding into cubes. It doesn't have anything to hide, it's just good, clean animation, front and center, with a consistent visual style and directing. I'm not an animation fanatic. I don't watch shows just because the animation is good, and I don't shy away from shows when the animation is bad. But it just can't be ignored. Yaiba looks good. It's just a pleasant show to look at. It's the kind of show where it would be easy to say that they had a large budget, which I don't doubt they did. But this level of quality is only ever reached when the people working on the show are passionate about it. And I'm pretty sure everyone involved in this loves Yaiba, and it really shows in the final product. The people working on this grew up reading Yaiba and watching the old adaptation, and now they get to work on it themselves, to improve on it. It's like we're getting to see the rose-tinted, nostalgia-driven version of it they had in their minds being manifest as a real show, and it's just beautiful. Shin Samurai Den Yaiba is an excellent adaptation of a classic that helped shape anime history. And if you enjoy some silly adventures, if you like good animation, or even if you're just interested in it from a manga history standpoint, I strongly suggest giving this show a try. For me, this was one of 2025's highlights when it comes to anime, and while it might not be for everyone, I really think you should give it a try, because it's not every day that we get something that has this much passion put into it.